Edwin and Jessely Soto share stories from their travels through the Pacific Northwest, talk about creating music while living full time in an Airstream, and reveal a big secret along the way. Welcome to RV Out West. I'm your host, Brooks. My family of four's base camp is located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and our RV adventures radiate out from there. Please grab a mug of coffee and join us as we discuss RVing around the American West. From sweet camping spots, gear and equipment, to tips and tricks, we've got you covered. We are RV Out West. This week, we're picking right up where we left off with part 2 of our conversation with Edwin and Jessely Soto. We're going to dive deep into their travels throughout the Pacific Northwest, the places they loved, the destinations they missed this last time around, and what's already on their list for their next swing through the region. We also get an inside look at Edwin's music and how he continues to write, record, and produce while living full-time in an Airstream. And somewhere along the way, Edwin drops a pretty huge secret you definitely won't see coming. Now, fair warning, this episode runs a little longer than normal, but honestly, there was just too much good conversation, too many great stories, and too many moments that deserved to stay in. So, grab a fresh cup of coffee, settle in, and let's continue the conversation with the Sotos. Well, thank you again for coming on for part 2 of the show. I'm excited to have you guys here and continue our conversation.
Oh, we're very excited.
Yeah, well, you guys, so last week, we kind of got to hear the why behind you guys' decision to go full-time in your Airstream. You talked about, Jessely, that when you first started RV life, you were like very much of aware. We got to go here. Let's go here now. Move. We got to see this. There's this. I got my checklist. I want to go. Let's see it. And now you have a very different perspective after being on the road for 4 years. Paint us a picture now of, honestly, what does your day-to-day life consist of? What is an actual routine for you guys? What does that look like?
Routine. Now, that's a word that's hard to swallow when you're a full-time RVer.
Yeah,
I can imagine, but still, right? You got to get your laundry done. You guys gotta, you want to wash the trailer. You still got to maybe do some work. So, I mean,
that's right.
It's not like
there's cadences, right?
Yeah, okay,
and so
cadence.
There's all these cadences and little pockets, and there are relaxing sit down days where we know we're going to be somewhere for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. For example, when we arrive at a campground, that's usually the first sigh of relief kind of day. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of trickle into working throughout the week, doing errands, I don't know, taking Amazon returns and grocery shopping.
Yeah, during the week I'll do my errands, but I always try to plan for us to have at least, whenever we get to a city, I want to do at least 2 or 3 things on my bucket list.
Right.
And we always try to at least do 1 or 2 of those things. I'll have a list of things, but we'll try to do at least, I would say 2 of them whenever we arrive somewhere. So it takes a lot of the pressure off.
To kind of start, to kick it off, you're saying, when you guys first get there, we're going to take a couple of days now, let's, go vacation, see these sites? Or are you working them in after a day of work or after a chore day and there's this restaurant I want to go to tonight and watch the sunset or whatever? I don't know.
Well, what's really cool is when you're RVing out west and I get work East Coast hours. Mm-hmm. In those circumstances, it's really neat because my day usually ends around 2:00. And then that means we kind of have the afternoon to explore, usually a little earlier. We're beating the rush. And those are phenomenal times to go visit a museum or
definitely.
or that restaurant that you were dying to go to or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely what we do now, I think. And that's changed from how it used to be. It takes a lot of the pressure off that we just take our time when we arrive somewhere to just explore. And it just makes it a lot easier.
And we know we'll be back. So we kind of
That's true. Good point.
We kind of paint this oh, we missed it this time. Let's make sure it's in our bookmarks. We have a Google Maps location saver where we put all our places we want to go and places we'd like to go.
And sometimes things don't pan out. We'll visit a national park on a certain day, and then we'll get there and the weather will be terrible and we have to just turn around and just say, forget it. We'll have to do this again another time.
Now, that sounds like there's a story behind that wisdom. So tell me about that experience.
That was Crater Lake.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Speaking
tell
of
me about it.
RV out
Yeah.
west.
We were so excited to go to Crater Lake, and then we drove, and it was so foggy. And then we got there, and we're like, we know there's a lake there, but we can't see it.
It was so much fog. We did like one of those Instagram videos where it's like expectation versus reality, and like I found somebody's video, it was a beautiful reveal of the crater, and then I showed ours like depicted right after that.
Yeah, it was not like that at all.
That's
So that's
funny.
one of those places that we need to get back to.
Yeah, I would love to go
Sure.
back and see and go in the lake and go
And
in
see
the
the actual lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
nice.
that's one place I've never been. And every year it kind of just gets a little further bumped,
Yeah.
higher up that list. So let me ask you guys this. Now that you've kind of actually spent all of this time living this life that you guys have built, or I should say rebuilt, compared to what it is that you imagined this life would be, are there similarities, differences? What does that look like?
A little bit of both. It's a
Mhm.
mixed bag, right? We've said things like advice to people who want to do this. For example, we always say, hey, buying a used RV is totally fine. I mean, we bought new and it's not like we regret it necessarily, but
In
it's,
hindsight,
yeah, in hindsight,
we
that's
should've
definitely
been fine with
something
used.
I would be willing to explore now. Like
Mhm.
that's, I mean, there are other things I think in our daily routine that I thought would be a bigger deal, like emptying tanks or, I mean, your life is just different than normal
Yeah,
everyday
it
life.
is. But another thing I want to add too is that when you live on the road full time, you have to learn to not live like you're on vacation all the time.
Mm.
That's a mistake we made when we first started.
I think you're getting to the crux of my question is how do you kind of manage and what does that really look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have to sit there, do a budget on places because I think when we first started traveling, we were like, "Oh yeah, let's go to Disney World. Oh yeah, let's go to Universal. Oh yeah, let's go." And it just started to get very expensive. So now we
And
don't.
it didn't even have to be even that extravagant. I mean, sometimes a regular run-of-the-mill campground, if it's like a KOA, can be, 60, 70,
Right.
$80 a night, depending on where you are.
Yeah, and we don't even use the amenities. So we stopped going to the nicer campgrounds. Well, not nicer. I'll say more expensive campgrounds and going
Found the
more to
gems.
local parks and state parks and county parks and boondocking more. And that definitely we actually enjoy that more, I think, now
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
I almost prefer it when we
For
can find a
sure.
good boondocking spot, or sometimes the amount of unexpected things that have happened don't stop shocking me. For instance, we were in New Mexico. We used the dirt to get there. And so as we were approaching, it said on the instructions, be very careful because you don't want to go up this road. You want to make sure you go on this road and et cetera, et cetera. So we were very, very vigilant. And these are always off the beaten path as well. So as we start to go where there are no longer any houses, it all seems like we're going toward the right place, but there are no RVs, no campers. There's no one. And we just drive. It was on a cliff, on a mountainside.
Mm-hmm.
And I just expected lots and lots of other RVers there, to the point where we almost wondered if we were in the right place. Once confirming we thought we were in the right place, we said, you know what, we'll just settle down. What's the worst that can happen? So we settled down. We stayed there for a week.
For a
wait,
week,
you
right?
obviously
Yeah.
found a spot.
We found a
Sounds
spot.
smart.
We settled in. That week, I saw 2 humans, 1 dog,
Hmm.
and dozens of wild horses.
Yeah.
So I saw
That
more
is so
horses
cool.
than people.
Than people.
That
And it
and
was
that
Oh
is
my
the
gosh,
most
that's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, it was the most amazing experience.
And they would run in packs. It'd be like those Budweiser
Oh my
commercials
gosh,
just
that is
flying
so
down
cool.
It was just the coolest thing. And I was just like, yeah, this is awesome.
Only like
Oh my
100 feet from
gosh.
us or something
Yeah,
like that.
this is awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they'd graze like along the ways, and then they'd run back to the other side
Mhm.
after sundown to go to sleep, I
That's
assume,
awesome.
or
So
whatever.
cool.
Yeah. But we get into all that kind of trouble, I
Yeah,
think.
We call
that's
it the good
great
trouble.
trouble
Yeah,
to
the
be
good
in.
trouble.
You guys have traveled and lived all over the country as full-time nomads, but I would really like to zoom in on your time here in the Pacific Northwest. So first, kind of, what was it about this region, its people, the landscape, lifestyle, or whatever it may be, that left an impression on you for the time that you did spend while you were here?
I mean, I would say that it was very surprising for me. I think we have these perceptions of what places are gonna be. Like, I always thought of, like, Seattle being gloomy and rainy and blah, just like I thought California was, like, not a great place to visit. East Coast was the best coast, and now I think the complete opposite. I think California is amazing. But, I definitely had this perception of the Pacific Northwest. I didn't know what to expect. It was definitely very eye-opening and surprising on how beautiful the Pacific Northwest is. It's just stunning, and I highly everybody needs to put on their bucket list. There's just so many amazing places to visit out there.
Yeah, and it's diverse. It's
Yes.
extraordinarily diverse, which, I mean, we talk about that in California. It's kind of an unfair advantage in the sense where, California's a big place, but the PNW has some really unique
Mhm.
places, and some of the places that I really wanna go to, I haven't been able to go to.
Yeah. So we drove up to Northern California, and we spent time in the California redwoods,
Mhm.
which I felt was we went to the Redwood National Park, I think it is, and I literally remember walking and crying like a baby, and people must have thought I was crazy, but it was just so beautiful to see these massive trees, and you felt like this tiny little ant. It was just so moving for me, and I remember thinking, like, this little girl who grew up in New York City, looking up at skyscrapers, had no idea what else was out there in this world, and it was just something that I just think everybody needs to see. And it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, I loved how I consider myself a, decent photographer with my phone or whatever, but trying to figure out how to take pictures in the California redwoods is impossible. It's an impossible task. The best thing you could probably do is put your phone on the ground in selfie mode and just look up and let
Well,
everybody see how tall stuff is.
I remember telling a guy to take a photo of us in front of this big tree, and he's like, "Oh, do you want me to zoom in?" I said, "No, you need to get the whole tree." And he's like, "But you can't see you guys." I'm like, "That's the
Perfect.
point." And we looked like a little ant
That's
in front of this
amazing.
large tree, and it was one of my favorite
That's
photos. It really
amazing.
is. Yeah, it was really awesome.
Yeah. From there, we traveled
Mhm.
up through, Astoria, right? We spent time
We went
in
to Seaside, and we went to Astoria, did all the nerdy stuff, like
Goonies,
Goonies and Tennessee.
Movies
Yes.
Museum there.
As we made our way to Seattle, we did go to Pike Place, and we did have chowder at that one place,
Yeah.
Pike Place Chowder, I think it's
Yeah, they
called.
have vegan
And
They
was
had a
it
vegan
so?
chowder there.
Was it amazing?
So
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. I can't
Okay.
wait I dream about that
Okay,
chowder stuff.
good.
it was so good.
All right. Next time you guys are coming through
So
Seattle,
good.
I'm going to meet
Oh.
you at Pike Place, and we are going to eat our way through that market.
Yes.
I have so
Oh my
many wonderful
gosh, yes,
places, and then
please.
I want to learn from the places you have found because there's places I'm sure I've still yet to discover. So the market's amazing that way.
Oh, I'd love it.
Yeah, we did a mini vegan
Awesome.
food tour when we were there,
Yeah.
and it was phenomenal.
Yeah. Do you remember any other spots we hit? I mean,
Yeah, well, we went to
Yeah.
Pierogi,
Yeah.
of course.
Pierogi.
Yeah, and then we went to the chocolate place. What was it? Indie
Okay.
Chocolate. That's where we went, and that was really good.
I don't remember what we got there.
The sipping chocolate.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, and then we also got ginger beer at Rachel's ginger
Nice.
beer place. That was really good too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice day.
Tell me about some of the parts of the Pacific Northwest that you hit. You had mentioned coming up from Astoria, so kind of remember some of those chunks of places you guys stopped and visited.
So we stayed at the Airstream Park in Olympia, Washington.
Yes.
Which was really
Highly recommend if
Yeah.
you're an Airstreamer.
Yeah.
Let me into the little tease. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
Tell me
So-
about it. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, okay. This is a
Yeah,
full
yeah.
circle time.
Yeah, Airstream has, I wanna say it's about a dozen parks around the country that you need to have an Airstream to stay there, and people also tend to buy, like, little, like, shares there. Like,
Yep.
they'll have a little home with the Airstream there. So we stayed at Washington Lanyard Harbor, and it was really affordable for us. I think it was, like, $25 a night for full hookups.
Then you had
which was
full
great.
like 50 amp hookups and everything you guys do.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and every night was a party.
Every night. I could not keep up with these people. Like,
A
my
lot of them are
people.
retired, and I've learned that these Airstreamers like to party.
Oh,
Dude, my
man.
people.
I
Well,
can't.
RVers, period.
I
But
think RVers, yeah, sure, in general.
yeah,
And
they like
when
to stay up late.
they do. We went to the Olympias Farmers Market while we were there.
Okay.
That was really cool.
Mhm.
At the time, we didn't get to go to Mount Rainier because there was
There was wildfires
a
happening.
wildfire, and
Mm.
then there was like a mudslide
Yep.
that happened as well.
Yep.
And I remember the cascades were partially closed, so we couldn't.
And you can't have one without the other.
Mm-hmm. So we need a redo.
Okay.
We need a redo,
Fair.
and we need to go up there.
Well, I will
and
tell you
visit
this
those-
much. So I'm only really a neophyte in experiencing Mount St. Helens. I've only been
Cool.
there for like a day because we camped nearby. Camping close to Mount St. Helens is hard because there's not a lot of campgrounds kind of within, like the closest one's an hour away. But the Johnston Ridge Observatory, which is at the top where you get the best views of seeing kind of where she blew, has been closed because the road washed out and it hasn't been open for 2 or 3 years. And they're now saying 27 or 28. Can't remember. Soon though,
Okay.
within the year or two, it's got to be reopened. And
So then that's on our list.
yeah. So finally we
Yeah.
can all make it out to Johnston Ridge Observatory and
That's really cool.
yeah.
Definitely would like to check that out.
But yeah.
And then
So
we
tell me
also
about your
did
places. Sorry.
what else? We went to the last Blockbuster. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
That was in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool, nostalgic kind of place.
I was just talking about this today because I was wearing my Blockbuster t-shirt,
Okay.
which definitely gets the most comments from people. When I wear that t-shirt, I am the mayor of wherever I'm at. It's the craziest thing.
That's amazing.
On the back, it's just a yellow shirt with the Blockbuster logo,
Yeah.
and on the back, it says the last Blockbuster in the world, Bend, Oregon. I bought a hoodie, which I don't know where it is, but it was my treasured hoodie for so long. It got lost in the RV traveling or something. It's probably just in a bin somewhere hidden in the back of the truck or something. But it was just really funny because it's a working Blockbuster, right? It's like it's like people go there.
It is
to,
the
like,
last
rent-
Blockbuster. So you can still rent videos and get your microwavable popcorn. All that jazz.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I'm walking in there, we're walking in there, and I'm like going arm to arm with like cutouts of like Sylvester Stallone and like E.T. and like all the cardboard cutouts,
You
right?
should be.
I'm like a kid. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm looking at there's this giant wall of VHS tapes that they made like almost like a design out of.
There was a True Lies poster.
There was
Oh
a
my
True Lies
gosh.
poster. There was a replica 1990s living room. It was like a museum exhibit with like Crystal Pepsi in the center of the table or whatever. But I think what was funny is that I'm in there as the tourist, which I'm sure they get a million of. But everybody who was not a tourist was definitely annoyed that the tourists were in there. They're like, I just want to rent my movie.
I just want to
Like,
get in and go. Yep.
And when we went to pay, I remember the lady didn't have like she had the old school credit card machines,
yeah,
and because
Yep.
the one that goes
Or they
and
do
then
the carbon
but-
copy.
With the
Yeah,
carbon
they
paper.
do the, yeah, okay.
yes.
yes, but my credit card didn't have the numbers raised on
Yes.
it, so she had to manually put it in, and I was like, oh my gosh.
No chips.
Oh my gosh, that's
No.
hilarious.
No Apple Pay.
And then the last place I want to mention that we went to was Deception Pass, which was really cool, and that was in Washington as well.
Tell me about it. What was it that about Deception's Past that kind of resonated with you?
Well, we went with friends and we walked the bridge, which was absolutely beautiful. And then we went on the beach and we had a picnic, and it was just like so unspoiled. Like I don't know, the beaches there are just like gorgeous with like the old wood, that like you can see like the history there, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really cool. So Pacific Northwest is definitely
Yeah. We've stayed in like Monroe, Everett,
Bothell.
Bothell, and where else?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
And in Oregon, we've stayed in Bend
Mm-hmm.
and Seaside, as you said.
Hey,
Yeah.
you guys, let me ask you this, because I have one final question about the PNW. You had even talked about it earlier, Edwin, earlier today, saying, there's places that you missed that you want to come back for. So
Yeah.
just give me bullet points. What's a place for you, Edwin, and what's a place for you, Jessely, that you guys want? And you don't have to
Number one.
agree. It could be two different places. So take your top three and
the
narrow
place-
it down.
The funny thing is that the place I want to go to, Jessely's kind of already been there by train, but she went there at night. So we both need a redo of Glacier National Park. We really want to go see Glacier National Park, and that's my number one.
Okay, that's in
want.
Montana. It's a little outside of the Pacific Northwest. Cheater.
Pacific Midwest.
No, I want to go see the rainforest in Olympia. The Ho
rainforest up in the Olympic National Park.
Oh my gosh,
You're right.
high on my bucket list.
I want to change my answer. That's a good answer.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Yeah. Very, very cool.
I love it.
We've already heard about some of the unforgettable places they explored right here in the Pacific Northwest, and the spots still calling them back for another adventure. But after the break, we're diving into something completely different. We'll chat with Edwin about his music, the creative process behind it, and what it's really like to be making music while living full-time in a 200 square foot Airstream. Trust us, you're going to want to hear this story. But first, a quick word from our longtime sponsor and good friend at CamperAlerts.com. It's summertime and the great outdoors are calling, but did you forget to book a campsite 9 months ago? Well, don't worry. Say goodbye to sold-out campgrounds with Camper Alerts. With Camper Alerts, you can choose your campground, select your site type, and set a personalized alert. And when a site becomes available, they will notify you. It's that simple. Visit CamperAlerts.com today and start setting your alerts. Now, let's jump back into our conversation with Edwin and Jessely as we talk about how Edwin continues creating and producing music while living full-time in an Airstream. You're listening to RV Out West.
So one thing that I love about the lifestyle that you guys have chosen to do is how you're able to both kind of bring your passions with you on the road. You know, Edwin, I know you're not just traveling, but you're also doing this like creating stuff. So I'd love to kind of shift gears and learn a little about kind of more about your music, your journey, and kind of how this season of life ties into all of that. So first, share a little bit with us about kind of your music. What is it that you make? How did you get started?
Sure. Yeah. I've been producing music for decades, obviously in Sticks and Bricks. And right before we decided to pack it all up, I had invested a lot of time in learning and getting all my studio equipment that I wanted and producing music and putting music out. It was a change during the pandemic for me. So that was one thing a good thing that came out of the pandemic, just the resurgence of making music again. I make a lot of different kinds of music. I'd like to work with other people too. I decided that I didn't want to give that up when we went on the road. And what that turned into was essentially a mobile music studio. So I
That's so
identify as a RV mobile producer.
Nice.
I think it's fun to know that the last few, songs that I've put out have been fully written, inspired, and recorded, mixed and mastered right here in this RV. So with that said, I think I've got a little surprise for you too. I heard you were shopping around for like maybe a new intro song.
Wait, what?
And I thought that maybe I would gift you the choice of picking some songs. And so I've
Wait a
created
minute.
custom intro songs for the RV Out West.
Oh my
podcast.
gosh. This is awesome.
And if you're ready, I will play.
I'm totally
I'll
ready.
play this first one is titled Foo Fighters, and it's pronounced Foo Fighters the way that Christopher Walken pronounced it.
Yeah, but say it. Okay, fair. That's so awesome. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Welcome to RV Out West.
It's funny you should mention that. I thought maybe it'd be interesting to hear what that might sound like in context.
Okay.
So,
And build a life on the road together. Stay tuned to hear their story.
Welcome to RV Out West. I'm your host, Brooks. My family of four's
that's
base camp
awesome.
is located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and our RV adventures radiate out from there. Please
That's so
grab a
rad.
mug of coffee and join us as we discuss
that's
RVing
fun.
around the American West. From sweet camping spots, gear and equipment, to tips and tricks, we've got you covered. We are RV Out West.
Sorry, I had to steal your voice.
No, that's amazing. Oh my gosh.
All right,
That's-
running down the next one here.
Okay.
I've got another. So this one is Jessely and I have an inside joke. We watch Living Single a lot on TV,
Yeah.
the television
Yeah.
show, and I changed the words to Spanish, viviendo soltero. So I just go viviendo soltero. So inspired by that theme song.
Okay. Heck yeah. This is rad. See, you guys got it. Everything you need right here about the Pacific Northwest. We got it for you. RV. Out west.
All right,
All right.
now let's hear
Okay.
RBDJ.
Wait, what? Hey, everybody. Yeah, welcome. You know, these are 3 amazing options.
All right, so for this last one,
Okay.
this was inspired a little bit from my jazz roots. I made an instrument. I started this as an a cappella song because, frankly, I thought it would be kind of fun to do an a cappella, like Bobby McFerrin type song.
Yeah.
As I started to do that, I came up with this little instrument,
Nice. Okay.
and those are my voices. All
It
right,
sounds like kind of like a Rhodes, like an old school Rhodes piano, like what Herbie
it's
Hancock
just me going,
played on.
ooh. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's cool.
And what I'll do, and what's fun is for all of these, I'm gonna do a little breakdown on YouTube on how these were made. So
Oh yeah, cool.
yeah,
We'll
it's
make sure we have links to those in the show notes so people go check those out. And yeah, that's cool. For sure.
All
We'll
right.
put it. Yeah.
without further ado, Juan
Yeah.
Costa. If you know, you know.
I love it. That's amazing. And they're 4 distinct, very different songs with very different feels. I love it, man. That's so awesome.
It reminds me of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the Juan Costa comes from. It's a play on Johnny Costa, who is the piano player and musical director for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
That's
One of my
awesome.
favorite.
I
Yeah.
love that you made 4 completely different
4
sounds.
completely yeah, it's amazing. I'm shocked. Thank you so much for your time, your creativity. That is awesome.
You're very welcome.
So tell me, with your music, have you been, I'm sure you've been inspired by your travels, the things you've seen and written music based on just kind of your experiences in your life and time and places. I mean, that just comes from it. Tell me about one standout moment where, I don't know if it was, for lack of better words, like a come to Jesus moment where something happened and inspired you so much to write something. Tell me about that.
I had spent 8 months writing a song called This One's Gonna Get Love. I had it almost completed. I was in the Pacific Northwest, in Monroe, during this period of time where I sat down and I gave myself kind of like an ultimatum. You're going to get this song done. And ironically, that ended up being one of the lyrics. This one's gonna get done. But as I sat there, kind of like stewing in this song, and I was like mixing it or something, it was almost completed. I had gotten inspired to do something that I never do, which was to write a rap freestyle. When that happened, it was literally 2:00 in the morning. I had work the next day, and literally, I think within the span of maybe 2 to 3 hours, I had written the lyrics, made the beat, recorded it, and basically put it on a shelf. And I said, okay, well, this is going to be the side B to this one's gonna get love. And so I made the whole release kind of like a cassette tape where this
Yeah,
one's gonna get
cool.
love side A
Yep.
and side B is nice to meet you. Very raw and like it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm writing this right now kind of song.
I
It
also
was
think it's like a different style from what you normally do because he doesn't toot his own horn, but was like in a borough-wide band in New York City, which is a very prestigious honor when you're in New York, and played in like Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center and all those
Super cool.
places. Yeah, so like you have now explore yourself more creatively in these years, I think, on the road than ever because like I don't think 5 years ago, you would have done a rap song. Like, that wouldn't have been like I
not
mean,
like
you
that.
you might have, but I feel like this has brought out more creativity in you being on the road, which is think it's really awesome.
What's the vision? Where is this journey when you're dreaming and your heads are in the cloud and you're talking crazy talk before you've had coffee? What's it looking like?
I think it's gonna be bigger, I think I want to visit other countries now. I wanna visit more. Like, I still feel like we have a lot more to explore in the US. We still have only hit 38 states,
When you say
surprisingly.
visit other countries, I know you're not being specific. You mean
Oh.
you wanna do this in other
Other
countries.
countries,
You want to
yes. I want to
RV
RV
in
in
other
other
countries,
countries.
not
I
just
I do, and I would
So
love
New
to, like
Zealand,
Yeah.
oh
Iceland.
my gosh,
That's
yes.
my
Yeah.
number one, New Zealand
New Zealand,
RV.
Australia,
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
I
Ooh,
mean,
Japan.
oh my gosh, like,
Get a van in Europe.
for real, like, why stop here? Yeah, I mean, that would be phenomenal. I do think that if we were to do something like that, though, we need a smaller rig.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like and we have our Airstream's 28 feet, so it's already small, but we need smaller. Like, we need a van or something to be able to do something.
Drivable, probably.
As you guys now, I think about, all the beautiful things that you guys have done to choose your lifestyle and to make it work. Some people say it's lucky. I think it's you guys just putting in the work and making this decision to choose to live this way with intention. It seems like a natural way to kind of ask those bigger questions about life purpose, priorities, and what really matters. So I just want to ask you guys a couple of just questions about some of those bigger, deeper reflections.
Yeah, sure. I think about that stuff all the time.
Constantly.
I know how much you guys have both in part one, both expressed the love that you guys both had for your sets of grandparents that before they passed during the pandemic there. But what is it that in your journey has taught you guys about what actually matters in life?
I think what matters in life is being happy. And whatever shape or form it takes, being happy is what needs to be a priority. I always tell people, especially when I meet other parents, that you need to take care of yourself first before you take care of your children. We're ingrained that children are the number one things that we need to worry about. But no, you need to take care of yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of your children. I really advocate a lot for mental health and taking time to put your feelings and emotions as a priority and taking care of yourself. And I think for me that's just what's so important.
To add to that, I would say that like for probably for you and maybe for me, I think we have found our authenticity, which I think we tend to water down through adulthood a little bit. When we're kids and we're teenagers, like we don't have a care in the world and we're really kind of expressing ourselves and at least those are my teenage years for sure. We were young parents and I think that certainly shaped how we decided to grow up really, really quickly. And so now that our son is older and out of the house, it has given us a different perspective on, well, we are still a couple. We've kind of forgot that for a long time.
Mhm.
I think the other thing is just kind of like we were also people before we were parents.
Correct.
And so a lot of that authenticity has now been mixed in with like maybe adult wisdom. The gray hairs on my beard and my face and, tell me that there's something there. But I think mixing it, being who you are and who you want to be and expressing yourself is something that I definitely uh, I suppressed a lot, throughout my adulthood, thinking that things aren't, that nobody wants to hear these things or nobody wants to see that side of me. But when I let people see that side of me, people are drawn to that side of me.
Yeah,
And
that
same for you.
vulnerability.
Same for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Home's changed for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How has it changed for you now?
When people ask where we're from, we usually jokingly say whatever town we're at, which usually catches them like off guard. And like, wait, didn't you say you're in an RV? It's like, yep, but today, this week, and the next week, we'll be living here. And I think we've embraced that concept. It might be a joke, but wherever we are really does become home. Like
Yeah.
we start learning the local roads and how to get to the good taco shop or like
We really do assimilate.
Yeah.
Wherever we are, we assimilate. Like when we're in Southern California, we are Southern Californians.
Oh, yeah.
When we're in the Pacific Northwest, we are PNW people. Like we really assimilate.
Let me ask you then. So when you talk about that, how long are you kind of base camping in an area for?
Usually we do 2 to 3 weeks. Typically, our stays are around that time. And the reason for that is actually because in our efforts to keep things more financially logical for this kind of lifestyle, we joined some like memberships and campground memberships. We're like Thousand Trails members, for instance, and so that means that we can stay at Thousand Trails campgrounds for depending on the campground, 2 or 3 weeks. So there are times when we're like, oh, there's one over here, there's one over here. We're also Elks members, so
Moose members.
yep, and Moose members, and so those social clubs sometimes have RV sites. Yeah, and then we get to
Like with power, do those places have RV
Oh,
sites
yeah,
with power? Oh yeah,
absolutely.
so they got full everything. Awesome.
Some of them have full-on RV parks.
Super cool. Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
which is nice because then you can, when you arrive at the Elks, you can then like put your truck in the parking spot and go in and have a beer with the locals.
Yeah.
They're all hanging out.
Yeah,
And we'll
cool.
spend a week there and they really do embrace us. They
Uh-huh.
treat us like family,
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
know,
that's
some
so cool.
family there.
which is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Home is where you park it.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. It's not just a doormat that says that or a pillowcase.
it
Yeah,
really
it's
is.
true. So at the end of the day, you guys have just this incredibly meaningful life now that the two of you have built through hard work, resilience, some tough decisions, tears, as you said. Has any answer changed for you in that greater scheme of life since moving into an Airstream?
Well, I see people often ask, especially family or friends, like, "Oh, so how long you gonna keep up this ridiculous thing you got going on here, and when you gonna come back home?" And frankly, I don't know if there's an end. I don't know if I ever want it to end. Frankly, I see the joy that we have and experience on a daily basis, where people might find it extraordinarily difficult to live with their spouse in 200 square feet. We look forward to it. We actually don't like it when we're alone in the RV and the other one is doing errands and outside. We're like, when are you coming home? And it always often ends up, getting us back some French fries from Sonic or something like that, right?
I always say I don't love my husband. I don't just love my husband. I actually like him.
We do like each other for sure. And, I think it definitely, you got to at least have that if you're gonna survive. The fact that we do get to have these very unique experiences, they have been more enriching in our lives than the previous 4 decades. I mean, like, it's just such a absorption of the universe and what it has to offer. And we know that we have barely skimmed the surface.
Oh, for sure.
Well, then I want to know, what is next on your immediate horizon? And I'm going to say between tomorrow and let's say Labor Day.
Okay. Well, currently we're camping, which we've never done before.
A total first.
Total first. we decided to work camp to take a little break from traveling. And also we applied at work camping places we'd like to spend the summer. So we did apply in the Pacific Northwest. We did apply Big Sur. We applied in Lake Tahoe. And we ended up in near Zion. So
Cool.
we have been work camping here now for 2 weeks, and it really has been an amazing experience. And so that's where you'll find us through Labor Day. But
Okay.
once our assignment is over, we have some things planned. We are planning to go to Portugal, to the Azores, which we're excited. Edwin actually won a trip on The Price is Right,
Yep.
like the actual game show.
Game show.
That's
Me
amazing.
and Drew Carey were elbow to elbow.
Last year that so we have a all expense paid trip to the Azores, which we are so
Very
excited
looking
about.
forward to.
That is
And
so
then
cool.
that is, yeah. And then I think we're gonna take a month in November to travel to another country. We don't know what country yet. We're literally like gonna pick what's the cheapest flight, cheapest place to stay, where we're gonna go. So I kind of have it narrowed down to a few places, but
What's our, I think, is number one contender still Costa Rica?
what's your number one contender?
Right.
My number one contender is Vietnam.
Oh,
But
Ooh,
you
I
know,
don't know,
we'll-
man. I could go for a
I
bowl of
like that.
pho or
Yeah.
some
Yes.
chicken and black
Yeah.
beans. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
good either way.
I know. I'm okay either way. This is
Yeah.
this is a decision that
Yeah.
that has no
I
losers.
could eat either place happily.
Yeah, so we'll see where we go. But
That's
but
so
I think we're
exciting.
gonna add some out of country travel and start sprinkling it in here and there,
Smart.
just to try to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Loosely, we're headed to Arizona to spend Thanksgiving, and then we might travel into Puerto
Mex-
Peñasco,
Yeah,
right?
Mexico with the RV.
with the RV, which will be our first time in Mexico
with the
with the RV. I was gonna say it's not the first time we've been out of the country because we were silly enough that after we met you, Brooks, on our very second trip, the next destination was Niagara Falls.
Yeah, we
Who
went
does
to
that?
Niagara.
I don't know. I had never had any experience, and then we take it to another country.
Well, so all of this fun and madness and zaniness of your life, where can people follow along on your adventures, learn more about you, and keep up to date on the cool things that you guys are doing and experiencing?
Well, you can follow our RV travels at From the Hatch. It's From the Hatch because our RV has a hatch. We're on Instagram, on Facebook, we're From the Hatch RV. But we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. So you can follow our RV travels there. And then you can follow Edwin. Go ahead.
Sure. You can follow my journey on Project Edwin Music, and that's you can go to projectedwinmusic.com or go by Project Edwin Music on all the social medias and also on Spotify, Apple Music, and all your audio fund distributors. But I'm also venturing I'll also be launching Project Edwin Gaming pretty soon.
What?
Because one of the things that I've been doing is making a game based off one of my songs that'll be released shortly for the Pico 8 console.
Right on. Well, Edwin and Jessely, thank you guys so much. As always, it is absolutely a pleasure any opportunity I get to talk with you guys. You are two wonderfully amazing humans, and I just love hanging out with you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
It's always great
Same.
talking to you.
Good
Take
to
care.
see you.
All right, my friends, the conversation doesn't have to end here. If anything we talked about sparked your curiosity, head over to rvoutwest.com and take a moment to check out the show notes. We've got links to everything we mentioned, so you can dive deeper and explore more. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend or family member. If you haven't already signed up for our free monthly newsletter, visit our website at rvoutwest.com and get some insider info that you don't normally hear about right here on the podcast. Next week on RV Out West, we're taking you on a tour through some of the most incredible live music venues in the Pacific Northwest. From intimate listening rooms to legendary stages worth planning a whole road trip around, we're sharing the spots every music-loving RVer needs on their radar. So, if you're looking for the perfect excuse to hitch up the RV, hit the road, and catch some unforgettable live music, you're not going to want to miss next week's episode. Thanks so much for listening to RV Out West. Join us again next week. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you choose to get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. I sure would appreciate it if you left a rating or a review of the show. Special thanks to Scott Holmes Music for providing us the intro song, We Are One. RV Out West can be found on Instagram and Facebook, where you can interact with us and follow along on our RV adventures around the Pacific Northwest. So get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon.